Alrighty. Hello everybody. Now, before we do begin, let's give a brief little review. In the last part, Deku and the Amazon Lily pirates were out at sea for about a month with his crew, and they were all trying to find out where Burndu World is, the man who has been terrorizing the seas and has destroyed Amazon Lily pirate ships before. Now, Deku found a lead and they were trying to track this man down using that lead. They had a location, and they had a map. It took 2 days to finally arrive nearby the island, and when they did, they were attacked by the man's crew. He sent a massive cannonball, a large one, larger than their ship, flying at them. And Bako, he tried to leap through the air to cut it apart with his haki. He tried to hold that thing back and split it in two, but he failed. However, he was able to slow down its momentum enough for Deku to actually bring up his hands and blast it away using his own powers. He overloaded it full of energy and made it explode, and the ship was sent flying backwards on a massive wave. Now, everyone's trying to gain their bearings. Bako is saved by Asui, who swam out to save him. And Deku, he currently says stand there. Right now, him still at least going to aim towards the ship, and actually going to still wait. He still is trying to think about what to do. He has a straight shot, but the moment he gets over there, things can get complicated or not simple. And Deku, he currently says he's going to turn, shouting out for Todoroki as he's going to come running up below deck, or up from below deck. Now, Todoroki does a turn. Him actually going to watch as some more waves are flying their direction. And Todoroki is going to bring up his hand. Him going to actually bring it upwards and blast at the ocean as it's going to freeze Todoroki in place. And the ship, it currently is stuck in some of the ice. Now, the sea does start to calm down a bit. And Todoroki, he is going to turn. Him going to shout about how he doesn't know what exactly is happening, but that didn't sound good. Now, currently there actually is Ochako, Toru, and Momo. Everyone is trying to figure out what to do. And currently Deku, he knows he's starting getting a bit more of a bearing on the situation. Him going to actually leap upwards into the air and fly up high. And Deku, he has to stare back down. There are a few things he can do, but from up here, he knows exactly what he can do. Deku going to aim both of his hands downwards and blast down towards the ship. Now, the ship currently does watch a beam of light fly towards them, and they try to move out of the way. However, they are struck and a beam does explode on the ship. And Deku, he currently is going to start falling down from the sky. And someone needed to look up to see Deku. Them a lot more alarmed. The ice was frozen, or the sea was frozen into ice, and currently things don't look to be too good. And currently we do actually have Momo. Momo does have a bit of a plan, an idea as to how to get onto that ship. And she currently does a turn and run below deck, shouting about how she needs someone to follow her. Now, currently Ochako, she's just going to stand there. Her is going to actually walk over and grab a cannonball. Her going to actually make it lighter in her hand. Her going to pick it up as people are going to watch her bring it up in her hand, tossing it like a softball in the air. And she's going to turn, staring at the ship and going to actually pull her hand backwards, as she's trying to think. She has to get this right. Hopefully, she can get it right, because otherwise it's going to cause some problems. And Ochako, she's just going to take a step backwards. Her going to actually pull her hand backwards, and then going to throw out her left leg. Her launching the cannonball as she has increased the mass at the last second. And currently, 1,000 pounds of force throw that cannonball straight towards that ship. And around the pirates, they're still looking up. A cannonball flying through the air and smashing directly into the ship, cutting through it. Now, the entire ship was a shaken rock, and they're kind of alarmed because they didn't even hear the boom of gunpowder. And all of them do a turn, look back towards that ship. And some of the Amazons are quite surprised. Ochako is incredibly strong, and currently says it's going to turn and grab another cannonball from the pile. Her seeing 2 more here. Rory's going to turn and shout about how she needs more ammo. And some of the Amazons are going to look at each other and going to turn. Some going to run. As currently there actually is Asui, who does this going to run over to the edge and leap down into the water, as she does at least have a plan of her own. Now, the captain shouted at Asui whenever she went to go jump overboard, and Ochako saw that. Right now, her seeing the girl dive directly down into the water and rush away. Her kind of surprised. That girl's pretty fucking crazy. Though, being underwater, she's taking the long route because of the ice. Okay, well, this is definitely gonna be fun. We're just gonna wind up again and throw out the cannonball. And we do currently have Deku. Deku, he went to go fly down to the beach. Him gonna land and smash down as there actually was someone that's gonna turn and walk over. Them seeing Deku standing there. And they're a lot more annoyed. As he is gonna turn and try and order their soldiers about what to do, as they're actually to our guide is gonna stand there. There 1 second, and then gone the next because the cannonball just struck him directly in the chest. Him being sent flying off of the boat into a red mist. Now, currently everyone, they just don't panic, and others are kind of confused, as more cannonballs are being sent their way. And currently they're actually Todoroki, who, he is continuously freezing down in the water, trying to make them a path to the ship. And everyone, they do to watch on. As currently there's Bakugo. Bakugo, he actually is going to wait. Him staying there with his sword and going to get ready. He needs to focus more and more. He thought he had it. His training isn't enough. Though, it's definitely going to be something interesting, though. That on Bakugo's mind. Currently, him going to pull his sword out of the ice and actually going to bring up his other sword. Him going to actually step forwards and going to start sliding forwards on the ice. Now, Bakugo does bring both the swords up, stabbing into the ice and throwing himself forwards again, trying to carry himself on momentum. And Bakugo, he's basically skiing on the ice with swords. Now, Bakugo is going to fly past Todoroki, and Todoroki is going to watch on. Bakugo going to leap upwards into the air at incredible heights and throw out the sword. Him going to actually bring it backwards and send his slice Todoroki towards the sails. Now, everyone is going to watch the wooden post get slashed into, and it is actually someone smashing down to the side, destroying that part of the ship. And Bakugo, he actually doesn't want land smashing down. Him right now going to stand there and look around. As everyone, they just going to stand there watching Bakugo. And Todoroki, he does currently going to bring the ship up into the air, blasting down his ice, picking the thing up out of the water. And everyone, they're quite alarmed. Now, there actually is Burned World, who is going to stare at Bakugo. And Deku, he currently is going to fly upwards into the air and above the ship. Him going to fall down, as everyone is going to watch him. Right now, Deku going to throw down his feet and smash onto the ground. Him going to stand there and look around. Bravo, bravo. So, which one of you are the captain? Everyone's staring at Deku. He is the 100 million bounty from Impel Down, the escaped convict, the escaped assassin, the Lightspeed assassins on their vessel. And currently the man is a step forwards. Him bring up his hands, talking about how he's quite pleased to see him. Though, if he knew it was him, he wouldn't have opened fire. Though, those pesky Amazonians, they're quite the pest, wouldn't he agree? I think it's just stare at the man. Him can actually bring his hand up and try and blast his head off. As the man bring his arm up and block the attack, watching it go flying upwards into the air. It going into the distance. And Deku just stare at the man, who just used hockey. Now, the Minister Express. He doesn't want to have to hurt the kid, though he certainly is annoying. They broke his ship. And it's going to take a while to fix it. Though, if they just commandeer those sails over there and he just, does a few other things, they'll be right as rain. Though, there are other options, but they'd be the simplest. He doesn't have to pull out one of the spares just yet. Excuse me, what? You heard me. Now, run along, kid. Trust me, you're way out of your league. The man to stand there, and currently he has to disappear from Bakugo's vision. Bakugo, alarmed, as there is actually where he is sent flying backwards, smashing down out of the boat. Him smashing through the railing and breaking into it. Him going to fly down and crash into the ice, as Bakugo's swords are sent flying into the ground. Now, one is stabbed into the ice. The other is currently sliding around, crazy. And Bakugo, he currently is going to lay there, sliding backwards. As Todoroki does a watch Bakugo fly past him, and he's just going to turn back to the ship, looking back towards Bakugo, and looking back towards the ship again. And there currently is where Mina, she does come rushing forwards. Her right now is a bit more annoyed, being left behind in all the damn action. Now, Mina currently is going to run past Bakugo. Bakugo actually going to throw down his hand, smashing it down to the ice with hockey. and he has it finally to stop. Him going to actually saw him sit up confused. What the fuck was he just hit by? Now, the man is just standing there in front of Izuku. And Deku, he has to look up towards the man, who does stare down at the little assassin, wondering exactly what he should do next. The boy saw him move. Though that's to be expected. His fruit versus his fruit. I mean, a battle of speed and strength. Isn't that something? Now, the man is going to stare at Izuku, trying to ask him if he's not just going to give up, or is he here to claim the bounty on his head? Why would I claim that bounty of yours? You've been a bit of a pest. Killing, murdering, and blowing up every ship you see that's not yours. It's how we live, boy. Pirateering. How else do you live? I would say honestly, but then I'd be a liar. Well, at least you're honest. Though, with your reputation, I'd say you'd make a fine addition to the crew. I would, wouldn't I? You see, that's the thing, though. I've already made a deal with a warlord to kill you. A warlord? The man gonna turn, shouting out to his men. Do all of them hear that? The boy made a deal with currently Deku to throw up his leg. Him gonna kick the man upwards into the air. And everyone is gonna watch. Deku, he moved way too fast. And another man is flying upwards into the sky. As Deku, he does currently go to watch on. The man, right now, a lot more annoyed since he was interrupted mid-goddamn sentence. Now, currently Deku, he does gonna stand there. And the man, he actually is a lot more annoyed. Currently, him going to actually throw himself down and stopping himself in midair. I'm going to leap back down using Genpo. Now, he actually is flying towards Deku. And there is the fact that the man, he's a lot more annoyed. Him currently going to pull back his fist and smashing directly down to his ship. Him breaking in two as everyone is going to feel the entire thing shaking. And Ochako is just standing there on the deck. Her currently looking in the distance, still is going to throw up a cannonball in her hand. And watching the thing go to split in two. And currently she is going to think about what to do next. Well, okay. Well, this is going to be something fun. Her is going to wind up for another attack, and throwing it as hard as she can. Now, the cannonball is then flying in the distance. And currently, the air of the ship is attacked by the cannonball. It's smashing to the side and currently watching the entire thing break in half. Now, there actually is Deku and Burn the World, or Burn. The two are currently fighting, and the man is definitely quite impressed. Currently the two, they're flying backwards as Deku, he's trying to make sure they get towards the island. And Todoroki, he's still trying to produce a massive amount of ice to keep the entire area in the ocean covered. And things, they're certainly quite intriguing. However, these two aren't the only ones out here. The two ships? No. Someone else has been looking for this man, and they've been on the hunt for him for days. That massive sound they heard. I mean, that shit traveled for miles, and it definitely was quite intriguing. So, they went to go try and approach it, investigate, and whenever they saw that there were two ships in the distance possibly being attacked by each other, they went to go investigate. Though there was one thing they saw in the distance. Ice in the ocean. That's not supposed to be there in the South Blue. And they called for reinforcements. Because right now, Shoto Todoroki must be here in the South Blue Sea. Now, currently Deku and Burn, they are going back and forth. The two on the ice. And the man is actually quite impressed. Deku can actually dodge out of the way as the man is trying to blast out his attacks with Haki. And he's actually a lot more impressed. Currently Deku at least going to dodge out of the way of one of them and bring up his leg, smashing the man up in the face, as currently there is with the man, he was flying backwards into the air. Him going to actually flip his body again and using the input to rush himself forwards. And Deku is still watching what the man's doing. It's like what happened at the auction house. It certainly is intriguing. And Deku, when the man is rushing down towards him, he's going to turn his body into light and blast himself backwards. Him going to actually turn himself back normal, throwing in his hand, smashing his hockeyed fist down to the ground. I'm going to stop himself as he says lunge forwards. Him watching the man trying to do the exact same thing. Him increasing his speed and actually going to rush towards Izuku. The two going to meet with a clash. Currently Deku's fist approaching the speed of light, or getting close to near it, and right now the man with his own attack. Now, Deku's fist is still accelerating, and the two do to clash their fist as a shockwave does to form. It's going to break up much of the ice as the two, they currently do find the surface they're sitting on to be more and more unstable. And the two, they both do one thing. They look towards the island and move that way. Burn going to leap forwards with incredible speed as Deku, he does shoot himself towards the island made of light. And currently everyone on the ice, they try to get away. And the Amazons, yeah. They are still trying to break themselves free of this massive, massive thing. And it has not really been going too well. But there actually is Ochako. Ochako, she has one simple idea. Bring her hands down and going to actually increase the weight of the ship. Everyone confused as Ochako, she does finally feel the ship go smashing out further on the ice and breaking into it. Her going to actually decrease the weight of the ship again. And this time making it lighter than it should be. And everyone's kind of confused. As Ochako does just sit there holding onto the ship, and she does finally have it float upwards into the air. Currently, it going to actually float off of the ice and currently forwards into towards the island. Now, there actually is Deku, who currently him and Burn the World are still going back and forth. And Bakugo, he got up and found one of his swords. Him trying to make his way towards the island. Since he's not trying to be left out of this shit again. Now, currently there is Todoroki, who does just stand there on the ice. And he still is somewhat annoyed. Him currently looking around and looking at the ship Burn the World has. The one that's already been split into two. It's definitely a lot more intriguing. Though Todoroki, he does a good somewhat turn, hearing a sound and watching as he does see a ship in the distance. And he's a lot more concerned, especially because the way it's coming towards them, it's heading directly for their location. Burn's ship did not send out an SOS. He's pretty sure of that. And their ship doesn't have equipment like that. So, this is not good. Now, currently Todoroki, he does start to run towards the island. Him trying to at least get someone's attention about what the hell might be going on. And there currently is on the island, where Deku, he does just stand there. Right now him is being sent flying backwards as he was struck across the face. And Deku, he has to bring his hand up, wiping his lip, telling the man about how he definitely is fast. Trust me, kid. You're not going to win. You said that. Though, I've already won. How do you know? Easy. I've been taking it easy on you. Wanted to see what you can do. Though, if that's the extent of your abilities, you cocky little bastard. Well then, if you really want me to show off, I can do so. Be a nice change of pace. Now, the man is going to go rushing forwards, and Deku turns himself into light, moving backwards. I'm going to watch time slow down around him, and watching the man go to try and swing where he was. And Deku, after 2 seconds, is going to bring his hand back up, him turning himself back into human, and blasting a light directly into the man's eyes. And the man's quite alarmed. Deku can actually bring up his hands and blast the man out with 2 fingers, as one of the beams go smashing directly into the man's chest and burning into his body. The man's going to scream out in pain as Deku does watch the other beam smash directly into his coat and blow it up. Now, the man sent flying backwards into the island. Him going to smash down, as currently there are flames pouring into the forest. And Deku, he does still stand there. Him going to turn and look around, as Bakugo does come running up. Him sharing about exactly what the hell happened, since things don't seem to be very good. And Bakugo, he actually is a lot more annoyed, as currently he is a turn his head watching the ship. What the fuck is that? Deku turning. Huh. Now, currently Burn is going to jump back up. Him going to rush forwards as the two are distracted. And Deku is going to turn his head back. Him running going to step forwards and push Bakugo out of the way. Burn swinging his fist directly where Bakugo's head was. And Deku does to throw out his fist, smashing Burn directly in the chest. And the man is going to take the punch. Currently him using his powers at maximum, increasing his speed and strength by 100 times. And Deku, Whenever he struck Deku with that man's arm, he tried to use his own haki, and the man was actually able to break through Deku's defenses, hurting his hand. And Deku, he actually did get sent flying backwards into the ground. Bakugo curling a step forwards and trying to slash the man with his own blade. Man gonna turn towards Bakugo and bring his hand up, catching the blade and going to break it. As they're actually going to turn and slash towards Bakugo with a weapon. Bakugo being slashed across his chest and flying backwards as he tried to armor his body up with haki. However, the attack definitely hurt him. Now, currently there actually is Bakugo, who does get a step forwards. And, Burn, who does get a step forwards, my bad. And right now, he has a look into his mind. How he's going to turn hearing somebody whistle at him. And he's also going to turn more annoyed. And I'm going to watch as there actually is Momo who's going to stand there. Her expressing to the man about how he's definitely been quite a pest. And the guy's a bit confused. Watching her going to bring her hands up and going to start creating a giant mirror. Him a bit surprised. What is she doing? And then actually the man is going to catch his own reflection. Him a bit more confused as one of the reflections is a step out of the mirror. Him more alarmed. As I just don't stare at it and they're going to bring up his own hand. The reflection going to do the exact same thing. And the guy's confused. Momo going to at least express to the man, bring the mirror up again, as another one is going to step out, about what exactly she's doing to him right now. Try and make a move against her. It won't work. I don't know everyone, they just want to stare on. Deku going to actually get back up and see that Burn is staring at his own reflections. And Deku, he does currently have an idea. Him bring up his own hand and gonna get ready, as they're actually Ochako, who she currently is going to stand on the floating ship. Her going to actually increase the weight more and let it sit back down in the water, as she's going to turn and grab a cannonball. Her a lot more impressed by the weight of these things again. Her abilities are quite powerful, though she is concerned about what she can do with this. Let's see, 10,000 kilograms. How hard can she throw this? Especially if she uses her max power. Her gonna turn, and look directly at the man who doesn't sit there frozen, and the other two things in front of Momo. Okay, maybe she can actually get him this time. Her gonna actually pull back her hand and go to wind up. Her chucking the cannonball with over 10,000 pounds of force. Now, currently the cannonballs go flying through the air. It gonna hit right into the man's leg and cracking into it. Burn is gonna feel his leg crack and scream out in pain. Handing his hands down as the copies, they're going to do the exact same thing. And Momo is going to turn back towards the ship. As currently Todoroki, he sees them sliding in, expressing about how they have a bit of a problem. Now, Todoroki is at least going to turn to Deku, who doesn't get back up. Currently, him going to actually grab down his own hand and going to try and turn it back into light, trying to see if it can recover. And that certainly is a bit of an issue. Him going to look back at Todoroki and tell him, they're kind of dealing with something else right now. Marine ships are on their way. Of course they are. Yeah, listen, I can do what I can to stall them. But whatever's going on here, we need to hurry. Now, Todoroki has a turn. I'm going to throw down his hand and blast ice towards the man. And now Burn, he has a turn. I'm going to actually bring up his hand and try to attack the ice. I'm going to send it flying as he's going to look back down at his leg. Him going to bring his hand up and actually going to try and force the bone to reset. I'm going to scream out in pain as the copies are going to do the exact same thing. Then I'm going to stand up and turn towards Momo, rushing towards where he's actually attacked by both copies. Now, currently the man is trying to fight a 2v1, but the copies are doing his exact movements just mirrored. And that definitely is quite intriguing. And there actually is Deku. Deku currently is going to bring up his hand, and instead of using his entire hand, or instead of using his one finger, he decides to close his hand to a fist. I'm going to get ready and pull back his fist, before he's just going to move towards the man and approach him at a massive amount of speed. And Deku, he currently is going to pull back his fist, smash the man directly in the back of the head. And Burn is actually quite alarmed, having struck with the force of Deku's haki-infused attack. And so going to move forwards, as the copies just don't lean and smash into him. Right now, them all holding each other up, as Bakugo, he actually has to come back in. Him going to actually bring up his sword, the rest of it that he does have left, and rushing towards the man. Him actually going to bring it up and stab it directly up into the man's back. The man going to scream out in pain. Him actually going to try and throw back his hand towards Bakugo as Bakugo is a duck. Him going to slide it across as Burn, he actually is attacked by more and more power. And he is trying to do what he can. But currently there is Todoroki, who does is going to look back towards the man. And he does have another idea. As there is he does something going to turn and run back towards the forest, and then turn back. I'm going to blast out ice as the man is going to try and rush backwards and try to get away. However, the man is going to step directly into the ocean. So I'm going to look at that. I'm going to turn. I'm going to bring up his hands and try and actually force back the ice by smashing it with his fist. And currently everyone is going to watch on. The man is a lot more annoyed, as currently there actually is Deku, who does go to actually look up into the air. I'm going to blast himself up into the air and everyone is going to watch him. A beam of light going to shoot directly up and up and up. And Deku, he does have to finally stop when he does decide he's high enough. Currently going to spin and turn. I'm going to see some of the ships out in the distance. And Deku, he currently is shining bright like a beacon, like a flare that was shot up into the air in the middle of the night. And Deku, he is finally going to turn back to look down. Going to increase his momentum as he actually starts to pick up speed. And Deku is going to turn back in the light, shooting back down. And currently there is a Burn. He is finally going to look up, seeing something bright shining into his eyes. And Deku, he actually is going to smash me down with both of his fists infused with hockey. Smash the man directly into his shoulders, breaking both of his arms. And the man does a scream out in pain. As currently Deku, and Burn do a smash into the water. And Deku, he actually doesn't want to sit there. Right now, he's going to start moving down, as he does want to turn to Burn. And the man himself is trying to claw his way back to the surface. However, he's not getting there too successfully. And the Kuja pirates, they actually go to watch on. And there currently is Bakugo. He doesn't want to stand there, bring his hand up to his chest, and feeling the wound on his shoulder and torso. The guy definitely was a fucking painful battle. Where's he at? Everyone looking around. And Todoroki is going to point out, he's pretty sure he's in the ocean. And everyone's going to turn back. Right now, this being where someone is going to leap directly off the boat and rush towards Izuku. And Deku, as he actually is trying to bring his hands up, he does try to think about what to do. However, there's someone who's going to reach out and grab onto him. Then we're going to actually swim back up to the surface and pull him up over the water. As everyone, someone going to stare on. And currently, they have a lot going through their own mind. And Deku, he does going to sit there. More annoyed about what just happened. You came at a very good time. Don't worry about it. Besides, I think Miss Hancock would hate us if we let you die. So what happens now? Marines are on their way. We should probably deal with them. You sure? I'm sure. Now, currently someone is actually smashed down Deku on the island. And they just don't stand up. And then right now Deku is going to turn his head, watching a man step out of the forest. As he does have the appearance of someone Deku he hasn't seen in a long, long time. Toshinori Yagi, an admiral for the government, does just stand there. And everyone, they do stare at All Might. Right now the man a lot more annoyed seeing all of these pirates in front of him. Because 3 of them, he is fairly certain are wanted by the government. And 2 of them are currently here. One's in the ocean water, meaning his powers don't work. And the other one, I'm going to turn to Todoroki. It is right there in front of him. Todoroki, I'm going to turn. Your father would be awfully disappointed to see you here. My father was disappointed in me anyways. Todoroki's going to turn, telling All Might, he's better off not trying to come closer. And when All Might does a stare at Todoroki, I'm just going to bring up his hands, expressing to him, he's wrong about that. And Todoroki, he does a stare at All Might. As currently Todoroki, he actually is struck by an invisible force. Would actually somewhat fall to his knees, and so go clutch at his gut. More alarmed about what just happened. Before All Might does a turn, going to actually bring up his hand, and I'm going to use Conqueror's Haki. Right now everyone going to watch as a massive wave is going to start coming over the entire island. And everyone they're a lot more alarmed. And there actually is Deku. Deku can feel the Haki running through his body. and lastly, she got him to shore. Her right now can fall to her knees and trying to stay conscious, but her body is shaking. And Deku, he actually still went to go to turn. Him going to actually use his own Conqueror's Haki, as you know, All Might is a lot more alarmed. Deku's going to shoot out towards All Might, and right now the two, they're just going to clash. And everyone, they're a lot more alarmed about what's going on. And Deku's just stared down All Might. Him currently going to actually climb to his feet and going to step forwards. And All Might's a lot more surprised. And he does want to step forwards himself, expressing to the boy about exactly that he really should have just gone back to prison. And Deku's just stare back at All Might. Right now, All Might going to stare down and try to increase his Haki output more. And Deku, he's going to stare at All Might. He's going to use more and more of his own will. And All Might doesn't feel it. The two right now are battling with just pure willpower. And right now, All Might, he's quite surprised. As right now, there actually is where the lightning just start to crackle around the entire island. And the Amazons are quite intrigued by what the hell's going on. They can feel the force of whatever the hell that is. And it's just the two staring at each other down. And on Deku, he does actually something to rush forwards. All Might can actually go to do the exact same thing. As Deku, he does actually appear in front of All Might. All Might going to actually look down and actually to try and bring his hand out and try and swing at Deku. And Deku, he actually going to throw his hand up, smashing All Might directly in the face with an All Might infused fist, or with a Haki infused fist, not All Might infused. Now, Deku sends All Might flying directly upwards through the air. And All Might, he actually is a lot more alarmed. Right now, him actually being sent flying over the ocean and going to actually try and spin his body. Him going to use Genpo and going to rush back towards Deku. Right now, him going to turn and yell at everybody to get back to the ship. And everyone, they all do try to do that. And currently, Deku, he has to turn back. Right now, All Might going to smash down his own fist as Deku going to jump backwards. Deku going to stare at All Might as he's going to rush towards himself. Right now, All Might can actually bring up his hands. And right now, he's going to throw them out, smashing Deku in both his chest and his upper torso and down to his gut. All Might going to shout Ryukugan. As right now, he has to use an Air Force Blast, sending Deku flying backwards as Deku, he actually just smashed onto the ground. Him a lot more surprised, especially because All Might used Haki and one of those strange abilities. And All Might, he actually just won't stand there. Him going to express to Izuku, going to start bringing his hands up and someone going to stretch them. That Izuku really should have just stayed and impelled down. Things would have been a lot better for him, since he is just a criminal. And Deku's to sit up. Him is going to sound a Fury Blast at All Might. All Might is going to dodge many of them. Him is going to rush towards Deku as he is actually bring up his leg and going to smash it down towards Deku's head. Deku going to roll out of the way and spin, blasting out light and smashing it on my shoulder. All Might a lot more alarmed, feeling the entire beam smash through his entire body. And Deku, he's going to watch that. All Might's body is solid. And All Might currently is going to bring his hand up to actually try and cover the wound. However, he is going to pull back some dried blood. Him more alarmed at that. And Deku, he actually going to start rushing forwards. Him going to actually rush to his feet as All Might, he is trying to rush towards Izuku. And Deku currently is going to bring his hand up, smashing All Might directly with his fist covered in Haki. All Might being sent flying backwards into the forest. And Deku, he has a turn. Right now, he's going to turn himself into light and blast his way towards the ship. And the moment Deku is going to land on it, he actually doesn't turn back to All Might. And the man, he just don't stare at them. Him can actually sit up and wipe the blood from his mouth. Him can actually step forwards and stare at Izuku, as the boat does set sail. But All Might, he actually doesn't turn back. Him can actually look up and see something strange, bringing his hand up and picking a devil fruit off of a tree. Him actually somewhat more alarmed and going to look at it. And right he's going to turn back to Deku. And Deku's just stare on. Him staring at All Might. As Deku, he's going to bring up his hand. I'm going to try and blast it at All Might and cover the entire island with power. And currently All Might is going to stand there. Deku, him going to do so as the island is to at least glow a bright color. And it will actually get covered in a large explosion. And right now the boat is then flying further and further into the ocean. As everyone, they try to hold on for dear life. And currently the boat, it does get sent sweeping down further and further down the current. And All Might, Deku doesn't see anymore. The island, however, is a massive glowing explosive. And that definitely was quite surprising. The Marines were trying to get into contact with All Might, trying to find out where he was, figure out if he was alive, what the hell happened on that island. And that was quite intriguing. As you know, All Might, he does getting something to float there, floating down into the water. And he actually still isn't going to open his eyes. Him more annoyed going to actually bring up his hands, swimming to the surface, and going to rise. Him going to actually look down at what used to be a devil fruit in his hand. Him going to watch and crush it in his fist, a lot more annoyed. As the pieces of it do scatter into the wind, he's going to turn and toss it into the ocean. Him is going to watch the boat go pull up, and so he's going to lower down a ladder. All Might can actually grab onto it and climb up it. As the moment he actually is back on the dry deck, someone is going to turn to him, asking All Might exactly what did he encounter on the island. And All Might is to express. He encountered the fugitives from Impel Down on the island, and he wants them to at least give chase, follow after them, because he believes that they are in league with Burn the World. And that is quite annoying for All Might to hear. However, there was the fact that that devil fruit in his hand. It must have been that man's. They betrayed him, right? The Marines were already able to capture most of his crew. The others, though, that's inconsistent. You need to interview, figure out what's going on, and then get them to properly sentenced. All of them are probably going to end up in Impel Down. Though, 3 of those people got away. And that's quite annoying to him. And right now we do actually have where the people on the ship, they're currently sailing fast. And that has been quite a lot. Ochako decreased the weight of the ship. And currently the current is picking that thing up and it is sailing down the ocean fast. And that was quite surprising. The captain was quite alarmed hearing about how this ability does work, especially when Ochako tried to explain it, but they kept calling it a cursed technique. Now, it does mean quite a lot. And currently there actually is Deku, who does just sit there under the deck with his hand wrapped up. And currently, he is going to have a bandage covering his nose. Him talking about it. It's quite surprising. He didn't expect that guy to show up. They're going to turn towards Bakugo. And Bakugo doesn't want to sit there. Him with a bandage covering the top part of his torso. Talking about it. Yeah, that was pretty intense. You guys okay? Both the two are going to turn towards Kirishima. And Kirishima is going to stand there. Where were you? What? Where the hell were you? I couldn't get off the ship. So you stayed there? I didn't have a choice. I mean, Ochako didn't help me out. Deku turning towards her. And Ochako just don't shrug, talking about it. The guy didn't seem like he was invested. Are you serious? Of course I'm invested. Now, an argument is going to break out. And currently, their actions are Momota's a step into the room. Her looking around, seeing everybody argue like children. And Deku just don't stand up. Ham's going to wince in pain and grabbing down at his ribs. Ham going to shout out towards everyone, shut the hell up. And everyone is to turn towards him. And Deku is to express. That was the first time they had an actual fight with a fucking admiral. They got lucky and got away. Fact of the matter is, that guy got his hands on a devil fruit. And they don't know what that does mean. They don't know if it's still in his possession or if it was destroyed in the blast. So if all of them are done bickering, they need to actually work together on this. If all of them are going to be a crew, and he means a proper fucking crew, they need to listen to what he says. Now, does he make himself clear to everyone in this room? Everyone looking at Deku. And Deku, he doesn't want to sit back down, expressing, good. 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 Right now, here's what's going to happen. Bakugo and Momo, you two, if I'm not around, everyone takes orders from them. Bakugo is someone going to turn. And I look at Momo. And Momo is going to turn to him. Her giving him a look of surprise. Huh. So what if you're not in charge? You two figure it out. Work together and don't bicker like children. Bakugo's eyes are going to twitch. Sure. I can do this. Right. Okay. Listen. Kirishima, this isn't your fault. Ochako. What? I thought you were supposed to be a team player. I work alone, remember? Not used to this teamwork bullshit. Right. Good for you. Lottie fucking da. Though, if you did think a bit more, you'd realize that you and Kirishima could be a pretty dangerous combo. What do you mean? Think about what your abilities are for a second. You can increase and decrease weight, and then you're next to a guy who can turn a literal island into his own body. Think about that for a second. Ochaka's not going to look down. The gears turning in her mind. She didn't think about that. Now, Deku's their turn. Him or not going to stare directly at Lillian, and he doesn't going to open his mouth. Him doesn't bite his tongue since she couldn't really help in the battle. And Deku, he doesn't just going to look away from her, especially not all of them. They're going to probably do some training when they get back to fucking Amazon Lily. They took down the threat, and that's what matters. They were able to do all this together. Yes, him and Bakugo working together was a bit difficult and strange. They've done so before. Poor coordination, yeah, but they got the job done. Todoroki actually helped out, and that is quite a bit. So far, he's been the most reliable person he knows. Now, Todoroki's someone who's going to turn. I'm going to express, holding up a glass of wine. Cheers to that. Now, take a look over. I'm going to walk over and bend down. I'm going to grab the bottle from Todoroki and express that he's going to take this for right now. For right now, all of them are going to think about everything that happened. Have a meeting without him and talk to each other. If they can't coordinate off of each other in unison, things are going to be a lot more difficult. And all of them are probably going to end up in an impel down next to each other on either level 1 or level fucking 5. Maybe 6, maybe 4, maybe 3. Who the fuck knows? Now, all I'm going to do is stare at Deku. Deku shouting angrily. And right after Deku does his turn, him heading back to his room. Now, currently Deku, he doesn't sit down in the hammock. I'm going to bring out the bottle of wine and look at it, since Todoroki froze the lower half of it. Chilled. I'm actually going to take a swig, and more surprised. It tastes dry, but that flavor of it, it's honestly not bad. Deku's going to take another sip, and right now going to lay down and put the bottle next to him. As right now Deku's hammock is going to swing with the movement of the waves. Now, Deku, he actually doesn't set his head down, thinking about what to do. If that fucking guy got that devil fruit. Shit. Okay. Think, Izuku, think. No. He couldn't have gotten the fruit out of there alive. If he's strong, he would have crushed it, maybe. If he's powerful... No, he's an admiral, right? The explosion destroyed a pretty good amount of that landmass. If he was caught up in it, he's at the bottom of the ocean right now. Dead, and that fruit's with him. Or it's been turned to mush. Shit. That means it might pop up on the next island they visit. The closest island from here. No. They'll be doing the same exact thing. Okay. Just try and figure this out. Try and think. Deku's phone gonna buzz. Him still gonna sit up and turn. Him gonna actually set down the bottle of wine, and still gonna try and get out of his hammock. Him still gonna give a bit of a grunt because of the pain in his ribs. And Deku, he actually gonna walk over, pulling over his desk, or pulling open his desk drawer. I'm gonna grab the phone and answer it. And actually I'm gonna sit back down in the hammock. Hello? Hey, Izuku. Hey, Boa. I heard how things went. Someone said that you were chewing out your companions. They heard that. They did. They were also a lot more concerned. Though I heard you had a bit of a dip in water. How you feeling? I'm more annoyed than I should be. We got the guy, but his fruit is... We don't know what's happened to his fruit. We got him, though. Good. Are you heading back here? Yeah, we are. Listen. Is it wrong for me to be angry at them? They didn't work together in unison. I mean, one of them doesn't have a devil fruit, and he's still somewhat my best ally. I mean, one of them has a power, but they didn't even get close to land to use it. They were practically just human on a ship. Izuku, you're trying to make your best of your allies' powers and abilities. You gotta remember, there are certain disadvantages to being a devil fruit user. Like water, for example. You're sure of that? I know. I know. Just... Ow. Are you alright? I'm fine. Just pretty sure I cracked a few ribs. I ran into an admiral. An admiral, you say? Is everyone alive? Everyone's fine. I don't think anyone died in the battle. That's fucking surprising considering how uncoordinated we all are. I see. Izuku, if there's too many of you, it's gonna be hard to work together in a team. I know. You do. You're smart. I'm well aware of that. That is why I do have an interest in you. Right. About that, Boa. We're heading back to the island now. You are? I mean, you are? Yeah, we are. I'll tell you whenever we dock, or get close. Though for right now, I'm going to enjoy some wine and just lay down for a minute. I need some rest. It's been a bit of a strange day. Plus, my insides feel real fucked up. Poor baby. If you do need me to, I will tend to you personally whenever you get here. Sure. Although, you already do owe me for trying to help you. I'm well aware. You'll get what you're owed. Trust me. You'll get more than that. Now, there was a hang up. And now he actually goes on, sip from the wine a bit more, and could actually put his phone back down on his desk. I'm gonna close it as Deku, he actually doesn't want to sit there with a bottle. Him gonna lay back down in the hammock. And eventually Deku's gonna fall asleep. Now, Deku, he does also won't wake up the next day. And he does at least explain to everybody what they need to actually start doing. They need to actually have some proper teamwork. They've only known each other for about a month, but the fact of the matter is, they haven't tried to fight together before. And that does mean quite a bit of things. Todoroki uses his ice on water. And that's good. He knows what he's good at. Then there's the fact that Bakugo, he's a swordsman. He knows what his skills are. There is Momo, who was more of a support in that situation. Ochako was integral, though. She was able to disrupt the enemy's sails, stopping them from moving, or even getting away at a far distance in the ocean. So, she was resourceful there. Mina, however, she was kind of all over the place. She did get the ship secured, and they tried to take on anybody else there. But that was it. She was doing something else, not focusing on the objective. Though, he will commend her on her actions there. Though there actually is Toru. They're going to turn and ask her exactly what the hell did she do during that entire battle. And Toru, she currently said do one thing. Bring her hand down to her jacket and pulling out a golden necklace. And Deku just don't stare at her. Really? What? You said secure the ship. I did secure it, along with much of their goods. Ochaka's going to turn, and so I'm going to smile. A girl after her own heart. A thief. Nice. She finally has a friend. Now, currently, all of them are somewhat bickering back and forth. And Deku's still a lot more annoyed. As eventually they all do sail back to Amazon Lily. And they already do have a bit more of a plan. They're all going to be trying to train and get coordinated properly. Until they believe that they can actually have a proper fight with someone and work as a team, things won't be easy. Now, currently the ship is at a dock into port. And everyone, they do something to sit there. Currently, everyone, they do to watch on. They stepped off the ship and Boa fucking Hancock, a literal warlord, started walking their way. Bakugo was quite surprised. And so was Ochako and Momo. They were quite alarmed to see this lady walk towards them. However, there actually was Deku, He stood there quite calm. He went a step forwards, as Boa Hancock made her way close without saying a single word, her expression stone-faced. And the fact that she wasn't saying anything somewhat terrified a few of them. However, they wished she walked directly up to Deku. Deku just stepped forwards. Listen, Hancock. We did what you asked, and no one was hurt. I'm sorry about the crew, the ship, the damage, Her and gonna bring her hand out, grabbing directly at Deku's shirt and bringing him up into a kiss. And everyone, they just want to watch on. As for Boa, she doesn't want to turn. And actually doesn't want to pull away from Deku. Everyone gonna watch as Boa, she just Frenched Izuku. And Deku, he actually is still gonna stand there. Her gonna bring her hand out onto his shoulder. And the other one out onto his face. Aww, you got injured. Did you get the man who did this? Yeah, I did. Though, what the hell are you doing? I'm tending to your injuries. We'll talk privately back at my palace. As for now, I'm gonna turn, asking, these are his crewmates? Yes, they are. They performed well. Not perfect, but well enough. We ran into All Might. All Might? Quite dangerous. Yeah, but he's probably at the bottom of the sea by now. I wouldn't be so sure. Herman is going to let go of Deku, and goes one step backwards. Going to turn and shout at the captain. To look at the ship and get it tended to. Get it fitted for repairs, and then they can set sail once more. Her going to turn back, expressing, as far as she is aware, All Might, he does not possess a devil fruit ability. And Deku doesn't want to stand there. That means that All Might, using Haki and some other sort of power, was able to actually knock him around. And Deku, he's kind of a bit more concerned. If All Might had the more fruit, he could have won. I mean, that attack he used earlier, that one that actually hit him in the chest, Deku bringing his hand under his gut. And Bodas is going to stare at Deku. Are you alright? Fine, just still feeling pain. I'll get that tended to. Come along with me. I'm going to turn and walk away. And now Bodas will express. The others will be given rooms on the island, and they'll be allowed to stay here for some time. Though, be careful. We're going to turn, expressing to them, do not rip apart her land. That is a warning. Now, currently Deku, he does want to walk with Boa to the palace. And right now Bakugo, he does want to stand there a bit more starstruck, since he just saw the most beautiful woman in his life kiss the guy he considers to be his boss. And she's the fucking warlord of the... God damn it. Huh. I'm going to turn to Todoroki. What? Nothing, it's just that... Huh. So that's how I got out of there. What? Now, everyone they're a bit more confused by that. Since Todoroki, he does have a few things going through his head. He always wondered how Deku got them free, though this was not it. Now, currently Deku, he does so I'm going to sit there at the palace. Boa, tending to a bit more of his wounds, and checking to see that he's actually okay. And Deku, he is a bit more annoyed. They have a chance to regroup and actually work things out properly. If All Might actually captured them, they could have been in some deep trouble. Some deep shit. Though that fruit, they need to recover it. Bakugo may not like devil fruits, but that won't be perfect for him. I mean, physical power increase, and then there's also that other technique. What was it? The guy leaped through the air like he was on a solid surface. But how? Interesting. Then there's that one All Might used. Though, that one guy, he was repeatedly kicking his feet and working out. No, not working out. He had a drastic speed increase because of his devil fruit. But the way he was moving his legs, it was very similar to... Take everything back to the devil fruit auction. And right now he actually is almost trying to piece a few things together. Those are physical abilities. They can be learned, quite possibly through intense training. Hmm. Interesting. Are you alright? Hmm? Yeah, I am. They're gonna bring his arm out. And now he does, I'm gonna throw his arm into Boa's chest. Her is gonna smile as her face is turned a bit red. Deku gonna turn his head towards Boa. Her rubbing her arm around his arm, or rubbing her hands around his arm, and expressing gonna pull him a bit in closer. That she's quite happy that he's back. Though he will be staying here. What happened to my room? It is under maintenance. For maintenance? Yes. Please. Just trust me. You'll want to stay here. Besides, I can provide you anything you want. I lean forwards, expressing food, wine, entertainment. All they need to do is have him say the word, and it will be done. We're going to lean in a bit more. And Deku, he's definitely kind of confused as to how he got himself in this situation. However, right now, I do believe that is a good point to leave this part off of. And I do hope you guys enjoyed. And have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.